This video is made for adult collectors because the algorithm stuff, I guess. I don't know, man. You tell me. Okay, this might be my most favorite figure in all the collection because most definitely. Logical. So, Siege. You know, it's honestly been a while since I last talked about Siege. The last time I did talk about it was when I reviewed Siege Optimus Prime. If you haven't seen it, I'll try leaving a link in the description down below. And well, there are a lot of good toys and like good figures from Siege. And one of them is definitely the best of them all. But at the price range, I don't know. Hey, Editor Donut here. So I didn't mention this in the video, but I got this figure for like too much money. Yeah, the after prices on these figures are just absolutely insane. That's all I wanted to say. Back to the video. But it is a very good figure. What am I talking about? Well, let me just put it into perspective here. There's Satan, then there's this guy. What I mean by that is, well, today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Leader Class Shockwave. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hi, Editor Donut here again. I forgot to do the intro for this one. I can't exactly go back and redo all of this again because, first of all, I'm lazy and I don't really want to do it again. Yep, that's all I wanted to say. Back to the video. I will say right now, this is definitely a much needed update of the figure because a lot of the Shockwaves we had before were kind of not good in many cases.
What? We're flying to Philadelphia! Oh, hell no! That's hell no!
But yeah, this is definitely one of the better ones, and there's a reason why he hasn't really had much changes to him for all these years, because this is such a good figure. And I gotta say, before we move on, I gotta say the light piping on this guy is just immaculate. Even though I'm not like having to see directly like under the light, it still shines bright. It's just it's just awesome. And well, a little known fact about me, Shockwave is definitely one of my favorite characters from the G1 cartoon, mostly because of this whole menacing tone of voice that sounded like this. Most definitely code and illogical. I don't know how well that's gonna sound on camera, but I did it, and well, you're probably all cringing from that.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I can only imagine. But I will say, this is like one of the best figures we ever got out of Siege. And there's a good reason to that, because he's so simple and close to the old, like, toy in G1 model, which I'll put right here if I remember to do so in editing again. Which sometimes I never really remember to do. But I will say, this is one of the best Shockwaves I've ever seen. I'm so happy I have this in my collection. But for the price I got him, it was stupidly expensive. Was it worth it though? Yes. Yes, it most definitely was worth it. For very good reasons that we'll get into later in the video here. So basically, like, right off the bat, the looks of this figure, it's just so smooth. And especially like all the grading detail here that you got from some of the War for Cybertron figures, it's just so good, man. Especially the light piping area, as I mentioned before. It's just so menacing in the way he looks. Let me get my light here to see. You get a better look at the details there. Dude, this is so cool. It's just so smooth everywhere, from front, side, and to back. Yes, he does have a backpack, but that's accurate to the cartoon. All right, shut up. Anyways, well, besides that, Shockwave does look pretty simple and, well, very good for how old the toy is. So without further ado now, let's jump into the posability. So first off, the head here is on a very strange ball joint here, because like the ball joint, if you can see it, is at the base there, and the head's on a weird swivel here at the top. Mostly because how it's engineered. So you could get some pretty menacing tones from him. So he could look up about that far, look down that far, tilt side to side, You can do this if you want. Go. Full free 60 at the head. And, well, as I mentioned before with the weird ball joint, you could get some pretty menacing looks from this dude, because that's just horrifying, to say the least. Anyways, yeah. Now I gotta say, the head design for him is just so freaking just menacing and evil looking. Like, this is definitely the face you do not want to see. And the chest here, yes, I know right now. I'm just gonna say it. Shockwave has a big old fat rack right there. It's accurate to the old toy, but hey, we're not here to talk about Shockwave's booba. We're here to talk about the toy. Alright, so yeah, the sculpting right here is pretty nice. So he does have a waist swivel, a full 360. Very nice waist swivel. And the legs here are on ratchet joints, so they can go out to that far, go back that far, vice swivel, and the legs here also on a slight ratchet joint, which is very soft. They can bend to about that far, and can break their legs about to that far. That's just gross. Same for the other side here, and the arms can do full 360. They can go about that far. There's also a hinge here that's mostly for transformation. They can go that far. Biceps swivel here. Hands can also swivel, so you could have Shockwave doing a little... No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going to do it. I do not want to get demonetized, but that's definitely something Shockwave would do. If you know the character, that you know that, because Shockwave is by far one of the most menacing figures from the Transformers franchise. Like, literally, he's just evil incarnate. Anyways, this thing here is for the other side with the arm here. And, well, it is kind of, like, limited because of the hose right here that leads to his little plasma nozzle. But it is actually removable, so because of the extra port right there that's not on the other arm, so you can remove that. And, well, you can have him do the full 360 again. And, well, you can basically just stick that anywhere. You can stick right there if you want to. You could either stick it up here if you wanted to do that. That just looks weird. But I like it right here because that port's there for a reason, and I like sticking it right there because that just looks better than anyways. And it is accurate to the toy, so yeah. It's just another trait of Shockwave I like a lot. And, well, before I forget it, I gotta do it again. You know, again, stealing a page out of Jobby's book, I have to do a beautiful spread! That's a straight up lug nut cracker right there. Anyways, yeah. Besides all that, though, that is basically posability for Shockwave. Although, I will mention before we move on, the legs here are strange in a ways, because of, like, the ratchets, and they don't really sit all that flush. Like, one leg kind of like sticks out a bit farther from the other one, if you could kind of see that. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a QC issue for my figure right here, or it's like it's only just my figure, or it's like widespread. I don't know. But if you have this figure and it's the same for you, let me know in the comments below, because I'm curious, to say the least. And I run into problems on a lot of stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's the posability for Shockwave, I guess. Now, before we move on, I do have to mention something here, because there's a reason why Shockwave here is priced at a leader class scale, even though he's about the size of a Voyager. Because he comes with extra parts for a super prototype, which is a bunch of junk. Just that, it's just junk. But yeah, they can attach onto Shockwave, so let's just clear that all off right now and get Shockwave back in here. Let's stick them all on to give him a super mode of sorts. So first off, let's start off with the feet here with this thing. You want to shove it in there if I could get on the camera. There we go. Right there. Focus. There, see? Give him a little bit of a pew-pew feet. And, well, grab the other one. Do the same. Again, if I could do it. There we go. Pew-pew feet. Focus on Shockwave again. It really likes going out of focus. I don't know why. Now, for the top here, there is now something we want to do here, which is add another pair of arms. basically turning Shockwave into Garmadon from the Ninjago. Let me see. They just peg it to the shoulders there. You just peg right on in there. And, yep. There we go. We're not done yet, though, because now there's this massive thing that we'll want to attach to the back. So let's just spin Shockwave around and attach this onto the back. Try to get this all on camera. The hose can kind of get in the way, but there's ports right here you want to stick them into, and there we have it. That is Shockwave Super Mode, and the reason why he is priced at a Voyager scale. And I will say, this is by far the coolest thing Shockwave has ever done. And, well, it is accurate to the comics, like, specifically the 2019 IDW Transformers reboot, which I'll stick right here that I remember to do so in editing again. And I gotta say, this just looks menacing, to say the least. This is by far the most coolest Shockwave has ever looked. And, well, the posability for this scene isn't exactly anything to talk about. It's basically kind of like the same. The arms can do that. Elbow bend to about that far, to say the least. Same for the other side. And, well, yeah, that's basically it. That's all there is to talk about for this one. Never really much to add on to that. But before we move on to transformation, this scene can also somewhat transform. I'm going to show you what it is, because it doesn't say on the box, or like any instructions, but it does show on like the back of the box. And from the visual aid it gives you, you can kind of like decipher what you can do then. If I could get this focused, there we go. So first off, you want to swivel these around, stick these things out. Same for the other side here, and there we go. Keep that like that for now, and well, you know, we'll move these out. And we'll take the feet here. There's a port right here that can stick onto this right here on this side. So you know what, I'm gonna flip this over because that's actually for this side. If I could get it too.
A few minutes later.
Yep, there we go. And now there's that side. And well, it's basically the same for the other side too. So do give me a moment to get that all done. There we go. Now they can easily just simply tab in. There's tabs on these that can actually, well, tab together. So it all locks into place. We're halfway done with this. Just stick with me on this one. Now we want to take the arms here, and what we want to do with these, we want to fold them out to there until they tab in. And well, we would just want to stick them onto the V to this thing here. And you know, it's basically the same for this one too. You just want to take that, stick it on there, and boom. We got whatever that thing is. Talking about this scene, it is a very cool design, but I have some major issues with this, which is probably multi-generation, but I don't really know. Because first off, that is an issue. It doesn't like staying in, so it's like a loose fit. It's kind of like the same for this side too, but at least that actually wants to stay in. It's just this one, that's a problem. I could probably freaking the peg up a bit here, but I'm honestly scared to do that because I've never done that sort of thing before. So I'm scared to do it. But yeah, it's nothing too big to complain about. It's just, it's fine. It's fine. And well, another use this scene has is actually, it can act as sort of a, let's see here if I can get Shockwave on here.
3:28 a.m.
There we go. It can act as a bit of a goblin glider for Shockwave. So yeah, that's fun. You have options. You can do that. Fun. Now it's time to talk about Shockwave's transformation here. So it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be simple. Let's get right into it. So first off, you will get this focus. There we go. You will want to take Shockwave's boobies and pull them out here. Stick the head in there and, well, just close it back up. The tabs don't really want to work on me half of the time. But you can, there we go, stick it in there. Now for the backpack here, we will want to pull that out for now and open this up for now, because this is where the arms will go. And well, you're going to want to remove the hose right here. Now bring the arms up, if I could get that on camera. Holy crap. Cooperate! Alright, and well, you got that. Now stick them in there and close it up. There we go. That's the top part all finished. Now let's move on to the legs. This should be simple and hopefully easy to do. So you want to pull those out. It's the same for the other side here. Pull these out. And well, you're going to want to flip the legs around. And now you're going to want to collapse these in on the thighs, I guess. Close them in. Tab these together. And tab these together as well. And now you want to tab that into the torso. Flip these fins up. And now you want to take this and stick it onto here. And now you got ship. Ship. Yeah, I know this doesn't really look like a ship, but there is something you can actually do with this thing here. So it's kind of like a secret transformation, but it's not really much so. So you just want to pull these up and then bam, you got a laser pistol, which is accurate to the old toy. And well, this is something Hasbro will never do again because of toy legislations about realistic guns and whatnot, yada yada yada. And well, yeah, Shockwave and Megatron were the sad examples of that. But with Shockwave here, at least you can have him in his classic space laser gun form if you fold the fins down. So yeah, that's fun.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's nice that you still have the option to do that. Now let's move on to the rest of the transformation. So first off for this, you want to fold out the landing gear right there so it can actually stand upright like that. And now we want to take the extra pieces that we had for the armor and glider mode. So we want to fold these things down. You want to take the front, shove these right on in there, if I can do that. Come on, there we go. And now it's kind of a finicky process. Give me a second, I'll get back to you when I get this whole thing.
Many months later.
And I eventually got it on the right way. So yeah, you want these facing upwards because they're kind of like the turret things for space mode. And now it is looking kind of simple. We will bulk that out. So now you want to take the arms again from the armor mode. So you want to tab them in again like for the glider mode. And well, you will want to tab these into the back here. And there is tabs to cue them in place. So that actually stays in place. Doesn't wobble around, which is nice. And you want to do the same for this side. There we go. And well, we're almost there. Trust the process. Trust the process. Now you want to take these things and fold the fin out. And now you want to shove them right into here where they will tab in. And you will want to do the same for this side as well. And with that, we now have spaceship. Yay! I will say right now, this is by far one of the best alt mode Shockwave has ever had in, well, any media really. Like in most media, he mostly just turns it either like a ship or, well, a tank, which those are all cool, but this is just, this announces a presence when it flies into the room. This is something you want to just start running from because it will kill you. Basically, it just looks like some type of spaceship that the freaking Empire will build in Star Wars. I mean, just look at this. The front and the sides here, they're all loaded out with guns that can basically decimate you. And, well, actually, for the front here, there are actually 5mm ports you can stick a blast effect into, which, give me a second, I will demonstrate it. You can actually stick a blast effect into the front here, so you can have it kablooshing some Autobots, which, dude, this is freaking sick. This is just a horrifying sight to behold, because if you see this firing at you, you basically know you're already dead. Like, there's nowhere for you to run, you're basically just gone, so just like that. The blast effects can stick onto the other stuff right here, so that is cool too. There's options to stick that stuff on there. Overall, the Shockwave design here is by far one of the coolest ones we have here. And they have actually reissued this figure again in the Dramatic Capture series, but without all the other armor pieces. And he actually has a great pack, so you can replicate how his toy looked like when it was in gun form, which I'll stick right there, if I remember to do so. And, well, yeah, what else is there to say? This is one of the sickest Shockwaves I will ever own. And I'm honestly glad to have him in my collection, because like I said, he's one of my favorite characters because he's just terrifying. He's terrifying, and he's just so cool looking, really. He just has such a sick design. I like it a lot. It's definitely one of my favorites. But if you can find this one at a very cheap price, or you just want to go for the Dramatic Capture one, then do it. I'm not going to stop you. Anyways, yeah, that was my review on Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Shockwave here. And with further ado, like the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below what you thought about it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more of this stuff. And with that being said, I've been Mr. Donut, and I'll see you all